Hi everybody, this is Jim Aiken. This month we're going to take a quick look at wavetable oscillators. What I have here in this video are 4 wavetable oscillators in the VCV-Rec system. From right to left we have the XFX wave from Blamsoft, the Nisthi Poly 7Cs, a Macro Oscillator 2 from Audible Instruments, and the Erica Synths Black Wavetable VCO. I like XFX Wave because it makes it pretty easy to see what's going on in the wavetable area. Up here we have a wavetable display, and I'm going to play a note and you can hear what it sounds like. And the scope over here is so that you can actually see what you're hearing at the same time. Now, if I turn this knob, the position of the wavetable, the position in the wavetable, which is to say the wave that we're actually reading and hearing from the wavetable, will change. So we'll see that happen up here. So if you want just a different kind of sound, you could position this knob at any given place, maybe run that through a filter, and you'd have a tone. What becomes more interesting, though, is when you turn up the Lfo modulation here. We have this Lfo up here is going to modulate the wavetable position by itself. So when I play a note, we will now see and hear the animation. The XFX wave has quite a lot of wavetables in here. We've got a menu that we can choose some different things from. I was looking at, what was it earlier tonight? I was looking at, was it this one? Oh, look at that. So there's a lot you can do with that. The next one we're going to look at is the Nisthi. This actually has a two-dimensional wavetable. It has banks of waves, and in each item, in each bank, there are a bunch of waves. So right now what we're looking at here is, I think, bank 29.2, and it sounds like this. Now the red line shows that I'm moving up through the wavetable here. And again, I can animate that with an LFO. But I can also change banks with the same LFO. Well, a different LFO, actually. So that's a pretty interesting sound. The reason I said an LFO and then 2 LFOs is because the LFO that we're using is the Lysajus LFO from, or I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, Lysajus. LFO from Frozen Wasteland, which is actually 4 LFOs at the same time. The next one we're going to hear is the Macro Oscillator over here. This is an oscillator that has quite a bunch of different algorithms that it can do, as you can see in this list. And only one of those happens to be the wavetable oscillator. So we will now check that out. There are various sounds in there, and again, we can modulate it. The black wavetable VCO only has one modulation input for the wave, and it is going to be active through this knob. But it has 16 different banks of waves, and we can switch from one bank to another using this button up here. Oh, I got to change this, don't I? All right. And when I turn this up, we'll hear some modulation of the wave because there's a CV input coming in here from the LFO. Okay, maybe one more little bit. This is a sequence that I put together to demonstrate 3 of these wavetable oscillators. The sequencer is this little guy here. So we're going to start the clock, and the drums are actually, I don't know if all of these drum modules are free. If they're not, you can substitute your own when you download this patch. The drums are being played by the Quad Algorithmic Rhythm from Frozen Wasteland, which is kind of a fun little module. So let's get it started. Now, if I solo the XFX, you're going to see something that's at least mildly interesting in this patch. Let's do that. What's happening here is that the sequencer is stepping through the wavetable. So instead of morphing smoothly, every step in the sequence has its own wave shape. And that's just a nice little way of adding some animation to the sound.
Synth.